Here's the question. How do you make the impossible possible? Simple. Remove the I am, the ego. Now, how do you step into that newfound possibility? With a series of small intentional steps. Never forget, the greatest among us started from humble beginnings. But to truly unlock your potential, realize you're here for something greater. If you're yearning for more than just a good life, let's take that small step together to reach greatness. Welcome to the Greatness from Small Beginnings podcast, where we're talking to those who have gone from mediocrity to motivated, overlooked to overachieving, forgettable to unforgettable. Are you ready? Let's go. Well, hello, everybody. Good Monday morning to you, or whatever day you're listening to this podcast. This is Greatness from Small Beginnings. And I'm always talking about how to be greater. And most of the time I refer to things I'm working on because that's the small beginnings part. So again, that's what we're going to get to today. I often quote people that I respect that have said things and have written things that are amazing. And I'm going to do that again today. And John Wooden is the man. He is the man that got so much wisdom, but it's so simple. And that's the best part. So this is John Wooden's like 1 minute oratory. A lot of this is from that oratory about just putting it in the past. And it ends with not ends, but there is a poem in it that I'm going to read, and hopefully I'll pull it off pretty well. But he quotes it. I won't quote it. I'll read it. Consider what greatness is. Consider what greatness is today, what considered greatness is tomorrow for you, and then in light of yesterday. So this is it. Put it in the past. John Wooden says this. Yesterday is gone, and it'll never change. Tomorrow is yet to be. Can't affect it completely, right? How can you affect tomorrow is his question. By today. You can affect it by what you do today. Stringing a bunch of todays together, of course, but I can't think about tomorrow and the next day. I have to only think about the actions today. This is him saying, I tried to get each player to make each day his masterpiece. So certainly individuals that I would talk to about, just got to put the past out. And so he's often talking about this to his players. John Wooden, 10 national championships in 12 years, I think. So he says to them, put it out, put it in the past, like put it out, take the action to put it out. And then he says, good or bad, it's got past. It'll never change. And the only way you can affect the future is by what you do today. So this is what he's saying to his players. Okay. So I'm going to tie a few things together, but here's the poem from Vivian Laramore. I've shut the door on yesterday, its sorrows and mistakes. I've locked with gloomy walls, past failures and heartaches. And now I throw the key away to seek another room and furnish it with hope and smiles in every springtime bloom. No thoughts shall enter this abode that has a hint of pain, and men, envy, malice, and distress will never entrance gain. I've shut the door on yesterday, throwing the key away. Tomorrow holds no fear for me, but I have found today. And then the 1 minute life change that he said, I think there's a lot that today is the day. I think there's a lot in that concept is what he said that counts. It's today that we got to concentrate on. Don't put it off. And I just think, man, what a wise man, and what, not just what he said, but in the fact that he lived it himself. Reportedly, I have a book I've read about him, and the most astounding part of the book, in my opinion, was that he would start each season with the great Bill Walton and many others that have played in the NBA. He would start each season at UCLA by teaching them all how to tie their shoes. how much tension on your foot, how to keep your ankle safe, the best way to wear your shoe to keep your foot safe and to not get blisters. Because what good is a guy with blisters? And it just is amazing what he did, simplified and made a process out of things that were better. And in the last, I hope you go back to the last podcast that I did because I talked about those that, here, I might even have it here, those that complicate things. Yeah, number 2 from last time. People who pride themselves on their complexity and deride others for being simplistic should realize that the truth is often not very complicated. What gets complex is an evading of the truth. Man, that's something else. That is true. And then I go back in regards to looking back at my past and I say, okay, so I don't hold on to the things that happen. That's not really my nature. That's not in me. And yet the feelings are still there. Back when I was bullied, back when I was picked on, back when I was 3 foot nothing and 4 foot nothing. And I had to compete with men. And I was basically had the body of a child. And it was frustrating to me. So I had little guy syndrome. I had a chip on my shoulder and still kind of have it. So that's a good thing that came out of the past, but it came from something negative. Well, I can't hold on to the emotion of that because that's not anybody's fault. That's not something that I need to live in is that little guy syndrome from the standpoint of that negative side. I just need to know where when I'm driven to do something or be something or go accomplish this next step or whatever it is, then where does that come from? Yeah, often it comes from that drive that comes out of that being less than I wanted to be back in just by stature, physical stature. So that brings me to the next point I'll make in this podcast, and it's probably going to be a short one, folks. From John Maxwell, and John Maxwell, he admits it. I steal all the good stuff from other people, and then I say it, and people quote me, or maybe they don't, but I say it as if it's my stuff because for me it is my stuff. How it's hit me, and he says change talking about the change of today as we look at the future and as we resonate on the past. Let's see, I heard somebody say the past is a is a good look in the rearview mirror. We can inform the future by the past. So, do you see that thumb that came up? Those of you who are on the Zoom does funny things these days. Anyway, John Maxwell. Change only happens when the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of change. So to change myself today over the guy I was yesterday, or the guy I was 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, or as a child, I need to resonate with the pain I'm having today about that, not the pain I had in the past. And when I'm able to resonate with that pain that I had yesterday or in the past, then when I let that pain affect me in regards to thinking, how I think about the pain and who I want to become perhaps because of that pain, then I will change because that pain becomes greater than not changing. Basically, I heard another guy say that, okay, it only takes 15 days to build a habit, to get in the habit of doing something, but it's easy to break that habit. But it was either 63 or 67 days consecutively to build a habit where it becomes easier to do it than not to do it because you've changed your neurological patterns. And I think that that's what we need to do in regards to the pain that motivates us to do something. We need to change some small habits and do them for 2.5 months, essentially 2 months and a week. And then they become easier to do. Was just listening to a book a little while ago that was talking about the truth. The truth. Okay. So what's true versus what the truth actually is. And he was talking about accomplishment. He used a story about oh man, I lost the name, but a great long jumper at the Olympic trials, and somebody whispered something in his ear as he was headed. to go down the track and do his long jump, and the words hit him just right. He ended up doing the long jump and went an extra 2 feet, and that was kind of what the guy told him. Give up 2 inches on the front, and you'll get 2 feet on the backside, on the back end, on the far end. And I thought that was really interesting. And then he goes into the story talking about, but he never redid it because in that moment he believed, well, what he thought the truth was that he could only do what had been done before. I think if I remember right, up till the time this book was written that I was listening to, which is only a few years ago, that other record has never been broken in the long jump. And so why is that? Well, the truth was that he could do it because he did it, but he never redid it because the truth in his head, what was true in his head and outworked in his body, manifested itself in his body, was that he couldn't go that far, that something was standing in the way, and he never found out what and never accomplished that same thing again, and nor did anybody else. So what was the truth? Was it possible? It was possible. But it became true that he couldn't in his own head and his own heart and his own mind and his own legs, and his body became heavy. Essentially, it manifested into a heavier body where gravity affected it more, and he went 2 feet shorter. I thought that was a great example for me of what is true in my head. Just because it's true for me, just because what's true for you doesn't mean it's the truth, the ultimate truth. Just because you've only accomplished what you can accomplish, and you've done your best, let's say, but someone else could do it better. Someone else could do more. So what's the truth? That what's true is that you are stuck here at wherever that is. But the truth is that it could go further. You could, the person, someone could do more. And why not that be you? And so it does have a lot to do with mindset, but it has a lot to do with just believing and not living in the past, which is often the emotional side of what I experienced in the past is often where I live. I get a knot in my stomach. I think, I shouldn't do this, have this hard conversation because I know where these go. Well, the fact is that I'm good at hard conversations. I see this thing as a kid that was bullied and less than back when I was a kid and a short kid. And that's how I live as I lead up to those conversations, and I basically have to often convince myself, no, that's a conversation I should have because I know the outcome's almost always going to be good. And even if it's difficult in the moment and doesn't feel good, it's almost always good. Like it is good. So I need to just force myself, I guess, to do the thing. That being said, what's true today, what's true now, what's true in your head, what's true in my head is not the end. The truth is that it could be more, it could be greater, it could be bigger. And people like Elon Musk and these guys that have done crazy stuff with computers and all this 50 years ago, none of that was part of the truth that everybody lived. And yet here we are. Amazing. So that's kind of my road to greatness encouragement to you, but it applies to me because I get stuck often in my feeling, in the feeling of what I was before, and then I stop, or then I say, I'm just not that interested in doing more at the moment. That is my diatribe for today and my honest moment to say, hey, I struggle with things and I struggle with the old guy, the old young man, the old kid inside of me. But though I can feel things, I need to use it as as a rearview mirror, a mirror to reflect. Okay, what can I do to be better or different? The real truth about what's coming, not what's true today, not what's true in that feeling, but what is actually the truth that is actually apart from me that maybe I could pull in and it become me. There you go. That's a good way to explain it. So to finish off this podcast, it's a short one today, and I appreciate you being here. Please pass this around. Like, comment, what is it? Subscribe. That's what I want you to do. Or follow me. I always end with Zig Ziglar. He's a good guy. Another old guy. My dad listened to him. One of his quotes: "You were designed for accomplishment, engineered for success, and endowed with the seeds of greatness." Yes, you were. You were designed for accomplishment. Yes, you were engineered for success by the God of the universe. He put you, the King of Kings, he put you together and endowed with the seeds of greatness. That's you. Now, folks, go be great.